Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Action Comics 990. This is the Oz Effect Part 4. Superman is dealing with the poison gas that was dropped by the rebels. He is not happy about it, so he scoops up the leaders of both sides, takes them out to the middle of nowhere, and starts telling them that they're going to resolve their differences right now because the killing is going to stop. Meanwhile, Lois and Perry White and Jimmy Olsen are looking for Jonathan. She gets Jimmy's watch to signal for Superman, while Mr. Oz is showing Jonathan around the Fortress of Solitude and telling him we have to leave the Earth. You could go to this place called Bliss. It's this beautiful magic land of fairies and elves where everybody gets to be who they are and not hide anything, and there's no secret identities. Meanwhile, Superman is burning a bunch of vehicles and weapons to try and make these two sides talk, which really, I don't think that'd really do anything. So while he's gone, he flies off because he hears the watch going off, and we see some of Mr. Oz's minions starting up this machine, but Superman intervenes, destroys the machine, and makes it so it's pretty much inoperable, and then he heads out for the alarm. And on the roof there of the Daily Planet, while he's talking to Lois, saying they can't find their kid, Mr. Oz shows up with Jonathan, and Jonathan's like, "We need to leave the Earth, it's all gonna die." So Superman is about to hit Mr. Oz, but the kid gets in the way, and we're left with a cliffhanger ending. Overall, it was another grandstanding moralizing issue, which is really disappointing. The concept of the arc is pretty good, but there's this weird attitude that if you just sit down and talk with sociopathic murderers, that everything will be worked out. Negotiation. It doesn't always work that way. I don't understand why they think that's going to resolve the situation. It's never worked before. I understand that sometimes you can have political agreements and truces and things like that, but it's a very utopian idea that you could just snatch the leaders up and make them work it out, and everybody else will just fall in line. Oh, you got soft, okay, and then the second command kills the leader, and then they're taken over, and the whole thing goes back down that spiral. And destroying all the weapons just means they're going to buy more. The storyline with the Oz minions and their machine was pretty interesting. That was kind of cool, but overall, it was kind of a waste of an issue. It was okay if you get it for like $1. If you paid more than $1 for it, you're probably feeling a little cheated, unless your worldview aligns with the politics of the story. I'm really disappointed with Dan Jurgens on this storyline, and I'm only finishing it because it gets me to the next storyline so that I could get closer to the Bendis material that's coming out. I want to get caught up. Otherwise, I won't even bother finishing this story arc. It's very boring and moralizing, and I expect better from Dan Jurgens. Just write a good adventure story without getting on your political soapbox. Is that really so hard to do? You'll probably find it a quarter bin, honestly, but if you find it for $1 or less, pick it up if you're going to read the whole thing. If you read it as an individual issue, it doesn't do a lot of good. I don't think you really get caught up to speed as to what's going on. So aside from that, I won't bother reading it if you're not going to read the whole storyline. But that's just my opinion. As always, thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. Be sure and hit like if you enjoyed the video, and consider subscribing so you never miss an episode, and we hope to see you on the next one.